This is KCTV English News. I'm Hyung Shim. 98 plots of land that have been owned by Japanese since the Japanese colonial period are being nationalized. Marking the 100th anniversary of the establishment of South Korea's provisional government, the Public Procurement Service has been examining land owned by Japanese nationals in the country. A total of 680 plots of land in Jeju Island have been investigated since 2013. Officials reverted 98 plots of land owned by Japanese to the National Treasury. 7 plots are currently being nationalized. The Public Procurement Service plans to complete the investigation within this year and complete nationalization of remaining plots of land by next year. The Jeju and Korean People's Artists Federation made a joint statement to join the anti-Japan movement on Thursday. The groups criticized Japan for taking economic retaliatory measures just right before the National Liberation Day of Korea. They also said that Japan is oppressing artistic expression by suspending exhibition of Statue of Peace, which represents Korean comfort woman during the Japanese colonial period. They said they will continue to concentrate all their efforts to join the movement and boycott until Japan apologizes and properly compensates all victims. The local police caught a large number of illegal Chinese immigrants during its crackdown. The Jeju Provincial Police Agency says it raided a residence in Eworup, Jeju City around 7 p.m. on Monday and caught 30 Chinese illegal immigrants. All offenders were repatriated to China. All of them entered the island through a transit without visa system. They had worked at local construction sites and farms. Officers will investigate into whether a broker connected them to the job openings and will step up crackdown on illegal immigrants. Local officials expect surface water temperatures in Jeju to rise. Islanders are concerned for possible damage to local fishing grounds. The Jeju Municipal Office said it will work together with related organizations to instruct fishermen and operate a field response team to prevent damage. The municipal office has supplied goods to reduce damage to 26 most vulnerable fish farms. Officials will conduct heightened surveillance in vulnerable areas. The rainy season for this summer is shorter than average, but rainfall was more than the average year. According to the Jeju branch of the Korea Meteorological Administration, this year's rainy season in Jeju started on June 26th, which is 7 days later than average rainy season starting date, and finished on July 19th. The duration of this rainy season was 8 days less than average. Also, the number of days with precipitation was 13.5 days, 4.8 days less than average. However, the rainfall recorded 475.3 millimeters during the season, which is 76.7 millimeters more than average year. It's time again for Film Focus. Here's Mike Lehman with a couple of new movies available now on KCTV's VOD service.
John, you want to tell us about your drinking?
You might think that moving back to the VOD system means that some of the fodder that makes it into theaters would be weeded out. But that's unfortunately not the case this week. Mind you, the first flick, Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, is a little gem. It's the second, The Silence, that is just a plain ripoff of another movie. We'll get to that in a moment, though. First, let's start off on a good note. Welcome to another edition of Film Focus. I'm Mike Laidman. With a cast that features Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Black, Jonah Hill, and Rooney Mara, there's no shortage of acting chops with Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, hereto referred to as Don't Worry. One could be mistaken that this is mostly a comedy, but it's not. It's actually a biographical drama/comedy based on the life of the titular character, John Callahan. Callahan has a real passion for life, but unfortunately, a drinking problem too. When an accident leaves him unable to walk, he finds help in his girlfriend and AA sponsor, discovering his talent for drawing edgy newspaper cartoons that garner him an international following and open his eyes to a whole new life. This is a movie that doesn't dwell overly on sympathy and instead follows Callahan and his messy life on the edge. Truly a great movie with great performances.
Such a pain in the ass, John.
You're right on schedule, sweetheart, and I'm glad you're here. Aren't you glad you met us?
John doesn't like us.
Well, of course I like you.
You're crazy.
We like you too.
Wait till you get to know me.
Anyone heard of A Quiet Place? That great movie with John Krasinski that came out only last year? Where monstrous creatures that are sensitive to sound attack the human race, forcing them to live in perpetual silence? Yeah, that's the one. Well, this is the same thing, just worse. I mean, it even goes so far as to include the deaf daughter. It's not overly bad on its own, all the performances are competent at least, but of course it doesn't exist in a bubble, and it really just serves to show how well done A Quiet Place really was. The pacing and tension are just too placid, and while the trio of characters at the heart of the movie do a decent job of carrying what little material they have, they can't quite get it over the finish line. Skip this one and watch Don't Worry if you're looking for a quality movie this week.
Join the musical excursion at the Sanjimu Park concert where the old and new meet. Musicians from around the world are performing in the Jeju International Wind Ensemble Festival. Taking a look at our weather, skies will be very cloudy and rain in the evening on Saturday. For more details, here's your forecast. The morning low in Jeju City will be 26 and the afternoon high will peak at 32 degrees. Down south in Seogwipo, we'll have a low of 26 in the morning and a high of 31 in the afternoon. Over in Seongsan, the temperatures will be 26 in the morning, warming up to 31 degrees. Across the island in Kosan, we expect a low of 26 and a high of 31 degrees. And up on the mountain at Songpanak, we'll hit a low of 21, topping off at 24 degrees. Out on the water, winds will be out of the east and southeast at a speed of 10 to 18 meters per second, with seas between 2 and 5 meters. And here's a look at the extended forecast. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at KCTV News Jeju and on KCTV's VOD service. 시청해주신 여러분 고맙습니다.